Punkalopi is in the first set of VCard TCG Rising Stars. Now, why am I randomly talking about another VTuber? Well, for context, I made a YouTube video on August 26, 2025, titled, let's get there. Here it is. No, Cinder not being in VCard and some issues regarding VCard. As some of you may know, Sinder was not put in the second set of VCard TCG, Awakened Worlds. So I made a video regarding that and talked about some logistical issues with VCard, because apparently, according to some Reddit threads, some people still haven't received their stuff, and it's been months since, the release of the first set of VCard TCG, so there was that. But what struck me was that there was a certain comment here by Hakumikey that stated, quick note about the Reddit comment, that Cinder isn't active, so that's why she isn't in set 2. Punklopi was in set 1, check out how active she has been with content creation, and provides a timestamp to the video. My YouTube video. Now, I don't know if Hakumikey meant Punklopi or Punkalopi. Punkalopi is a VTuber, so I'm assuming that's what they were talking about, because when I typed in Punklopi, I didn't get anything except for, did you mean Punkalopi? So I'm like, okay, I guess. But anyway, I replied to that comment and said, oh, thank you for bringing it to my attention because I found that interesting. Then RazorWolf996 says, yeah, supposedly a year of nothing from her, but still got cards, so that response just really doesn't feel true. Now, before I continue, for additional context, the Pyropup Center posted on August 13th, 2025 regarding, on X, regarding Cinder not being part of the second set of VCard TCG, stating, Pyropups, I'd like to share an important update regarding Cinder's inclusion in VCards. Today, the official VCard team held a Q&A event on Reddit addressing various topics about the TCG, including card sets, packages, and lineups. Among the questions asked, one stood out to many of us. Why is Cinder not part of the new set? The VCard team responded, stating that Cinder is not included in the new set because she currently is not creating content. They further clarified that if Cinder returns to content creation in the future, they will discuss the topic. This is their official stance on the matter, providing a screenshot of the interaction on the Reddit. Altruistic Grape 9776, I can't speak English apparently. Why is Cinder not a part of the new set? Will she be in any other set's packs, or will she be removed entirely? Diego Leonor, or however you pronounce it, VCard CEO, co-host, and dev apparently. To be transparent, Cinder hasn't made any content. We don't know if or when she will. If she comes back to making content in the future, we will have that discussion. And then Grape replies, I see, TBH I asked because there are still a lot of Pyropups, myself included, who've been very concerned about that. We miss Cinder, and we were afraid that others would try to just completely remove her and act like she doesn't exist. Thank you for giving me an answer to my question, though. So, it's a good thing that Altruistic Grape 9776 asked this at the Q&A, and it's a good thing that the Pyropup Center brought this to everyone's attention through X. So, that's really cool. So back to the YouTube video. Here. Yep. So yeah, there it is. Following RazorWolf996, lost my spot there, Golden Yoshi Star 1 replies to RazorWolf's reply. At RazorWolf996, it's possible that VCard Set 1 was in the works long before it was released, and that Shylily had been working on this for a long time. Granted, if Shylily really hated Cinder, then she would have made sure Cinder not appear in VCard in the first set, because Shylily did confirm that she always hated Cinder. Now, from my memory banks, I remember that Shylily stated that she was wary of Cinder. And then the whole disliking thing came after the whole thing. But hey, I could be wrong. My memory is human. I make mistakes. So then Groudon1326 then states Punklopi streams under a different corpo identity now, which is interesting. I didn't know about that. And then finally, in this chain of replies to Hakumikey's comment, we ended off with The Real Dutch Idiot adding me, GVP Gameplays 8945. That all sounds great until you go and check they were never in any set. So, not gonna lie, it was this reply to Hakumikey's comment that set me off down this rabbit hole. So I decide to see if what the Real Dutch Idiot said was true. So I go ahead and search it up on Google, and I misspelled Punkalopi. It's like these are the results for Punkalopi VCard, but regardless, Google AI Overview states a Punkalopi VCard is a trading card from the VCard TCG game created by GamerSubstance featuring the VTuber character Punkalopi. These cards are part of various sets, with the Rising Stars set being particularly prominent and available in different variations such as Holo, First Edition, and signed versions. You can find and purchase these collectible cards, including graded and non-graded versions, primarily on marketplaces like eBay, and that's from, Google AI's thing. So I decided to take it a step further, and I go to the VCard website, and then I search for cards in the set name Rising Stars Cards, which, by the way, was released on January 31st, 2025, and I type in the word punk, not punklope. Well, not punklope, not punkalopi, just punk in the search by name search bar, and this is what I get. 5 cards with Punkalopi on them. So, yes, Punkalopi is in VCard TCG. She is in the first set, Rising Stars. So Punkalopi's in the set. So I don't really get where the real Dutch idiot is coming from, saying that they were not in any set, when if you just go to the VCard website, go to the search by name search bar, type in punk, you get Punkalopi. And this is assuming what Hakumikey says is what I assume Punkalopi, because they put Punklope, I assume it's Punkalopi. So there is that. So yeah, I don't know why the real Dutch idiot says that when I looked it up. She's there in the first set, so she was in a set. So debunked that. Anyway, moving on. Now we're gonna go down a rabbit hole, because now I was interested mainly because of RazorWolf996's reply to Hakumikey's comment and Groudon1326's reply to Hakumikey's comment. So we'll start with RazorWolf996's reply to Hakumikey's comment, stating, yeah, supposedly you're nothing, but still got cards, so that response just really doesn't feel true. Now, Sinder, if you go to her YouTube channel, and you go to her latest YouTube video, it was made 4 months ago. So, April. This video was recorded literally at the end of August, so it's going to be about it's pushing 5 months at this point. But it's around 4 months. Let's say that, we'll be generous. Now, I decided to go to Punkalopi's YouTube channel. I decided to go to Punkalopi's YouTube channel, and I went to her latest live stream on her channel, which is the full Punkalopi story. Where did she go? And if you don't believe me, let's go ahead and do a loop-de-loop here. Here is Punkalopi's YouTube channel. Let's go to her live, and lo and behold, this live stream...
As a therapist myself, I know...
Cool. This live stream occurred on June 25th, 2024. So, if we remember correctly, the first set of Rising Stars came out on January 31st, 2025. So this is about 6 months since then. And then I went to her latest YouTube video, which is Twitch partner promo.mkv #shorts. And this YouTube video was posted on April 29th, 2024. So about 2 months before her latest live stream. So if we compare that to the date that the first set of V-cards came out, that's a pretty decent amount of time. 6 months to 8 months of no content, as far as I know. Just looking at her channel, which puts in perspective that she hasn't been really active. And to further confirm this, I decided to go to Twitch. I went to Punkalopi's Twitch, and if you go here, you can see that the latest videos on Punkalopi's channel, or clips in general, these were last year. So it's been about a year, so RazorWolf996's reply to Hakumikey's statement holds some weight here, which then starts to put a crack in the foundation of the claim that is put here. Sinder hasn't been making content, therefore she isn't in the second set, which throws me off because Sinder has not been making content for less time than Punkalopi, and that's what threw me off. So I decided to dig a bit further into this. And I will say that Golden Yoshi Star 1 does have a point, because VCard was in the making for a long time. And according to Golden Yoshi Star 1, it's possible that VCard Set 1 was in the works before long before it was released, and that Shiley had been working on this for a long time. Meaning that potentially Shiley and Lopi, Punkalopi, I already had talked ahead of time for that. But the fact of the matter is that Punkalopi hadn't been making content for a while. More than Sinder, and yet she got a card, like got her own card in the first set of Rising Stars. Good for Punkalopi, but what does that mean for Sinder? Sinder hasn't been making content for like 4 months, and that is the response as to why Sinder wasn't in set 2 when Punkalopi hadn't been making content for that long. Now, well, for longer, I mean, sorry. Now, I decided to go to Punkalopi's X account, and Punkalopi is active there. So, she wasn't active on YouTube and Twitch, but she's been active on X. Her latest X post, if you go to her X account, is one that was posted on August 11th this year, 2025, stating rabbit noises. That's it. So, yeah, so Punkalopi is still active, just on X apparently. And then I went further down and looked at Groudon1326's comment, or reply to Hakumikey's comment, stating, Punklopi streams under a different corpo identity now. And I looked into that. I thought that was interesting. I'm like, really? So I went to Punkalopi on the virtualyoutuber.fandom.com //wiki/Punkalopi or whatever. And here they say Punkalopi is a female English-speaking bunny VTuber affiliated with V-Roots. Later she reduced strongly her activities to focus on a new persona, Enya Ignis. And I was like, huh? Who's Enya Ignis? And I looked into that. This is her new persona, apparently. Enya Ignis is a female English-speaking virtual YouTuber and V-singer affiliated with Chroma Shift, Generation, and Unit Encore, alongside Shabelle Tonya and Chikafuji Lisa. So I decided to look into this. So if you go to Enya Ignis's YouTube channel, you can see that Punkalopi, quote-unquote, has been more active on this YouTube channel, so she's still making content. She's just under a different persona here. In fact, her latest YouTube video was Lisa Born Again Encore cover and was posted about 8 days ago. And if we... Oh, that was nice. Anyway, this one was premiered on August 23rd, 2025. So this one is pretty recent. And then I went on Twitch. Enya Ignis has a Twitch. And apparently, what is this? Yeah, can we carry Lisa to the peak with at Shabelle Tonya, at Chikafuji Lisa... race cover. Yeah, so this was streamed 4 days ago. So Punkalopi, under the new persona Enya Ignis, has been making content, just not under the persona Punkalopi. So Punkalopi's still here, she's just under the different persona Enya Ignis. So that was the rabbit hole I got just from this comment reply chain here. So, and if you guys didn't know, just for additional contents to Golden Yoshi Star 1's comment about it, Shy Lily really hated Sinder. If you guys didn't know, yeah, no, Shy Lily is the owner of VCard TCG. So, if you didn't know before, you know now. Shy Lily is the owner of VCard TCG. This is her baby. She put in a lot of effort to make this. So, yeah. After looking at all of this, and oh, before we do, and just saying, again, Punkalopi is in set 1 of VCard TCG Rising Stars. Just wanted to put that out there, and if you don't believe me, you can search for it yourself on the VCard website. So, there is that. So, with all this that I've looked into, this whole rabbit hole thing, a couple questions came to mind. Well, mainly one, and it's that if the VCard rep basically said the reason why am I saying it like that? The VCard rep basically said the reason why Sinder is not in set 2 of VCard TCG Awakened Worlds is because she hasn't been making content. But then, if you look at Punkalopi's YouTube channel and Twitch channel, she hasn't been making content on that YouTube channel and Twitch channel for about a year, generously speaking. Or if anything, like 6 months to 8 months. She hasn't been making content. So that's basically almost twice the amount of time Sinder has not been making content, right? So she's still got V cards like for herself, even though she wasn't that active on YouTube and Twitch. Now, to counter that point, it is confirmed that she's under a new persona. So who knows? Maybe she just made prior engagements before going into her new persona, Enya Ignis, and because she's making content on that channel concurrently with all the stuff that was going on for VCard, maybe that's why she had a set. So maybe Golden, what is it? Golden Yoshi Star? I don't want to get that username wrong. So maybe Golden Yoshi Star 1 has a point that, you know, maybe this was agreed upon, and that's why Punkalopi has her own card in VCards in set 1. Maybe it's because, you know, she still made content, but under a different persona, but not on her main channel, well, her previous channel. So, it's a whole thing. So, to dumb it down even more, Punkalopi had been making content. She has. She just switched personas, so she still was making content in that period that, in the period where Punkalopi had been not making content, you know, because at the point where Punkalopi stopped making content, Enya Ignis came out, and then Enya Ignis continued making content, like daily up to that point, as far as I understand. That was a very confusing statement. If you got it, you got it. But I'm just saying that Punkalopi, regardless of what persona she has, she's been making content daily, versus Sinder, like, just not making content. So, again, Golden... I'm losing brain cells, guys. Golden Yoshi Star 1's reply to Hakumikey's comment holds weight. Now, RazorWolf996 and GroundOn1326, did I get those usernames right? Yep. They did add some insights stating that Punkalopi had a new persona in Ignis, so there's that whole thing. But, yeah, the main question, now that I've rambled enough, was just, okay, Sinder hasn't been making content for like about 4 months. And the same could be said for Punkalopi, because Punkalopi had been making content for a long time, with the exception of, you know, switching personas and still making content daily through her other persona, Enya Ignis. So there's a whole thing with that. So yeah, it's a whole thing. And I explained it horribly, my apologies. But anyway, with that being said, everything I used for this video will be in the description below. I encourage you, the viewer, to go to the source so that way you can come to your own independent conclusion. And hey, if I'm wrong about anything, just call me out in the comments below. I am human. I make mistakes. So, correct them for me. Alright, thanks for watching.